Hi, I'm Deborah Bringelson, and I've been growing companies in 17 countries around the world for almost 30 years now. And I want to talk to you today about what's going on in the core of your business. Because, there are a lot of people out there who want to sell you one-shot wonders. You need leads. We've got an app for that. You need more sales. This mini training is just right for you. And the problems that you're facing, like disengaged employees and leaders who can't lead, people who are self-medicating, that's a huge growing issue in companies. For you yourself, sleepless nights or, not enough time with family, declining revenue, all of those things can't be solved by a one-shot wonder. And they can't be solved by putting Band-Aids on problems that really originated at your core. So let's talk about that. First of all, let me make a prediction. I'm not the first person you've looked at to help you heal these problems. There are a lot of people out there, as I said, who are telling you their one little trick is going to do it for you. Well, that's not true. I don't sell one-shot wonders because I don't believe in them. They cost you a lot of time and money, and I hate that. I hate that as much as you do. So several years ago, I was working with this company, and we'd been working together for about 6 months. And that's when I know, for bigger companies, that's when the strategies and tactics, those proven business strategies, that's when they really start to kick in. So I'm working with this company for about 6 months, and they haven't kicked in. We haven't made any revenue increases at all. And I'm frustrated and I'm sweating, and, I know what I do works. I've been doing it for a long time. And I was thinking this is going to be my very first failure. And I decided to take a look at the company in a different way. Looking at the core of what was going on with the CEO, the leaders, and the team, and the energy and frequency that they were emitting. And, one of the things that I discovered is the head of the marketing department had some core beliefs that were affecting her own life, but they were also affecting the revenue of the company. She believed, she was in her 30s, she believed that she did not have the ability to handle money. So even in her 30s, she was still turning her paychecks over to her father to handle for her because she had a belief that she was not capable of handling money. Do you think this was affecting the company? It absolutely was. Do you think anyone realized that was what was going on? Absolutely not. So, as I said, I tried something that I'd been using in my own life and company for decades. I, dug around the core of the business. I asked about past events, both with the individuals, because, we all bring ourselves to work. We'd like to think that, we maybe a mess at home, and when we go to work, we put on that professional air, and to some extent we do, but it's still there. It's like it's been covered up, but it's still there, and it seeps in. So here's what I found when I started digging around. The company and many of the people, actually most of the people, had scars, and in some cases they were very deep scars. And one, no one was talking about them, and two, in some cases, they weren't even aware that they were there. So that's why this business couldn't get traction no matter how good my strategies and tactics were. So I began working with them to heal the scars and, first of all, become aware of them, because you can't fix something that you are either unaware of or refuse to acknowledge. So we became aware of them, which is a little scary for some people, but through a process of uncovering them and bringing them to light and healing them, which honestly did not take very long, we shifted the company. And what happened next was that, buried fears and resistance were transformed into relief. You know, one of the things in my almost 30 years of growing businesses that I know is everyone, I don't care if they're the most successful billionaire or someone who's just getting started who hasn't made a dime yet, everyone has some form of I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. They've learned it somewhere and they're carrying that with them. And when you uncover that and teach them that that's not true, that they are enough, that they can be amazing, everyone has their own brilliance. When you help them realize that, they start to blossom as people. They put that into their personal lives, but they also put it into their business lives. And the shift in them as individuals, in them as leaders, in even the CEOs and the company is incredible. And what happened with this company is new leads started coming in, sale after sale was closed, multi-million and multi-billion dollar business deals were signed. The energy of the company shifted and people started showing up to work energized and focusing on the good of the company rather than exhausted and having, you know, it's all about me attitude. So we healed the business from the inside out and it blossomed. And since then, I've never tried to implement traditional strategies without healing the core of the business first. And you know what the results have been? 100% growth or 110% growth in 10 months. Over 3,000%. I have a couple of companies, more than 3,000% growth, one of which was in 12 months. So whether you want to admit this to yourself or not, every business, including yours, has damage at the core. So there are 3 stages of a business. First of all, there's the world stage. That's what everyone sees. That nobody goes outside without lipstick and a smile. And then there's the home stage. That's where, you know, people let their guards down. It's the real nature of the company. There's, you know, employee bickering, theft, effects of no systems or poor systems. You've got unhappy customers because they're not being treated the way they should be by your employees, gossiping, bickering, you know, the list goes on for days. And then there's the core of your business, the bright, shiny core. It's where your hopes and your dreams reside, where, you know, your desire to provide an amazing product or an amazing service. That's where your values are. And every business originates at the core, but a lot of times it gets covered up and it's, you know, dirty. There are scars, there's lawsuits. It looks like a tennis ball that's been chewed by the dog and left out in the mud and rain for years. Every company that I've ever worked with has this at their core to some extent, and it's polluting your business, you know. So what happens is you've got all of these things that are oozing out, like I don't deserve money, or I'm not good with money, or, you know, I hate my employees, or whatever it is. That's polluting your core. And when you buy the fancy app or the little mini this or the one-shot wonder, what you're doing, it's like putting wall-to-wall carpeting over a cracked foundation. Your core is your foundation. And if you don't heal your core first, the rest of it, as I said, is a waste of time and money. So my purpose in creating this course for business owners is that you start looking at yourself, first of all, because that's everything trickles down from you. You start looking at yourself and where is your core damaged? One CEO that I worked with didn't realize that what was going on in his company had to do with messages that he learned growing up and was still learning from his father. So we'd been working together for a little while, and he was struggling way more than he should have been. And I said to him, do you realize that what's going on in your company is probably a result of your relationship with your father? And he was like, what? Are you crazy? You know, he grew up with the idea that you have to be a good son and you listen to your dad, and sometimes your dad's not very kind, which is ridiculous. Everybody should be kind, especially to your children. But his dad would come in to the company. He'd been giving him these messages for many years that, you know, you should go get a job. You're not smart enough to have your own company. You're, you know, gonna fail. And the CEO had actually had some beginner's luck, which is a thing in business. He'd had some beginner's luck, and then things started to flatten out, and then they started to decline, and the, you know, more stress was caused by that, which caused more decline. And so I said to him, you know, do you remember you told me that your father says to you, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, go get a job. And all of a sudden this light bulb went off. He had no idea how profoundly that was affecting him. He had told me the story, so it was there, it was bubbling up enough to tell me the story, but it wasn't bubbling up enough because a good son wouldn't do this, wouldn't question what his father was saying to him, because that's not what a good son does. And it was having a dramatic effect on his business, clearing out those beliefs because they're nonsense. He was smart enough to have a very successful company. He was very capable. He just didn't believe it. So that was polluting his core. It was affecting how he was dealing with his employees. He was constantly changing course. You know, this is the direction we're going this week, and then next week it changes, which is very stressful for the team. So those are things that are happening at the core. And what I want for you as a business owner, look at what's really driving your life. What's at your personal core? How do you shift that? And then looking at what's going on with your employees. And, you know, look, okay, I understand you don't want to run therapy sessions with your employees, but if you've got an employee who believes that making money is bad, and that is polluting the core of your business, don't you want to do something about that? Wouldn't more money feel good? Wouldn't less stress be awesome? And wouldn't having more fun in your life be exceptional? You are exceptional. And I want you to get to the core of who you really are so that you understand that. When you're ready to get control of your business and your life, register for my free masterclass at quantumresultsformula.com/register. I look forward to seeing you there.